Let's get political for a second. Is that all right?
Oh, great.
Yeah. This Epstein thing.
Yeah.
It's...
How can we not talk about it?
What is going on with that?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I'm not terribly excited about it, to be honest
the
with
reason
you.
I'm not excited about it is because I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And nobody knows anything.
I
So
know.
there's nobody to even listen to learn more about this.
Right.
It's like one of those things that you can't know.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like if you asked me what's on the other side of the universe, I would say, I don't know. You say, aren't you curious? It'd be like, nobody knows. There's nobody I can listen to who knows what's going on.
Right.
Here's what it looks like in my opinion. First of all, the big scandal now is that, well, it's not really a scandal. The controversy is that the Trump administration dropped the Epstein case. That's basically what it is. Some people hate Trump for it now. Some people hate Pam Bondi for it now.
I know, but I'm sorry, but we don't know that they've dropped it.
Well, they put out a memo, right?
Yeah.
And the memo basically said, we don't see any evidence of a blackmail operation.
Right.
Which everybody's kind of like, really? Like, it kind of looks like there's a blackmail operation here. And then said that we looked at the surveillance video from the cell block and nobody went in. It was just him.
Right.
When he died.
Right.
So
just him when he died, but if he committed the deed that we're talking about.
Yeah.
For YouTube, we want to say the word.
Not say the word.
But what he did, okay, was something that he did for himself, to himself, but he was aided and assisted by people around him,
Maybe.
by the people there.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
The TikTok word is unalived yourself.
Unalived, yeah.
That's what they
Right.
say on TikTok.
Yeah.
Which you would think by now that would be censored too, because now
we just
everybody
ruined
knows
our,
what
now
you're
we just
talking
ruined our YouTube.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, okay, everybody thinks. Here's the big thing. Trump promised. He promised to do this, to unleash the Kraken on Jeffrey Epstein in the case.
Let's not have that come back.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, he didn't promise. If you search Trump Epstein promise, every headline is like Trump administration rescinds or fails to deliver on promises for, and I'm like, he never promised to do it. The most he said, and it was noticeable on the campaign trail, is he said he was asked about the JFK files. He was asked about the MLK files. And he said, yeah, I'll release them. Yep, I'll do those. And he did. He signed those. That was one of his first executive orders, was setting up the initiative to release those. And then they were like, okay, what about Epstein? He was like, I'll look into it. I'm not so sure about Epstein. And people were like, why? He's like, well, there are people. He basically... He promised the other stuff. He never promised. He explicitly said, I don't know about that. I'll look into it. Probably, maybe, not so sure. Because there are people implicated in that. And there are also people implicated who probably aren't guilty. That's the reason he gave.
Right.
And he said it would be a mess to have them in these files and they're going to attack these people and all this stuff. What it seems like to me is, and this is the most obvious explanation, is that Jeffrey Epstein was an intel asset of some intel organization.
Yeah.
Probably Israel, because he and his wife had ties to Israel. We don't know, which would be Mossad.
I don't know if he actually did. I know that what's the woman's name?
It's
Maxwell.
the impossible name to pronounce. Ghislaine. Ghislaine. I don't know what her name is.
She's in prison now in Florida somewhere, right?
Yeah, right.
Her dad had connections, I believe.
Yeah. So, but anyway, they've connected that family to Israel.
Yeah, okay.
And so they say, okay, he was a Mossad intel asset.
Yeah.
And he was used as the front of this blackmail operation where they would get wealthy and powerful people to, and it's like, okay, well, how do you just convince somebody to?
But this is just storytelling.
It's not really just story.
I'm not saying it's not true.
It's theorizing,
right,
based on what sounds possible, and based on other things that we know that have happened, because they have. And when you look at the circumstance, you have this billionaire who apparently ran a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund that nobody's ever even really heard of, with no stories or news stories about employees, even like why has nobody investigated who even worked for this company that apparently made this guy an instant billionaire, who buys an island and has underage girls working on the island, and he brings all these wealthy, powerful people there to the island, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
And there are things going on that island that shouldn't be, that are illegal.
So let's say there is, and by, in my view, there probably is, because people do horrible, wicked, terrible things.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if he did, and it seems like he did, there are other people, there are plumbers and electricians and shopkeepers who do horrible things also.
Sure.
To children, to animals, it's widespread amongst the human race.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But people are really upset because this guy has got a lot of money. You know what I mean?
No, that's not why no, that's not it.
Well,
that's not it.
But the whole thing with the cover-up is, or the potential cover-up, is that people on both sides, I'm talking about MAGA people too, these are people who are emotionally involved.
Yes.
And they are upset, and they're really pissed off that their political enemies, who they see as their political enemies, are not going to be exposed. That's what they're afraid of.
Yes.
That's what they want.
Yes.
We want a videotape of Bill Gates doing something awful.
Right.
And they're not going to get it, and now it's ticking them off.
So here's what it is. This is what it is, right? It's not just, it's about the fact that if you're wealthy and powerful enough, you get away with this.
Right.
And if you're not, you don't. You go to jail. That's the problem people have with this whole thing. That's the crux of it. Now, I will say,
except in his case, you become unalived, right?
Yeah, well, with him, yes, but talking about the people who participated in this. I mean, the people that he coaxed into coming to his island. Where are them? The people who did these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of people involved.
Yeah, so it's like, why aren't they being prosecuted? That's the idea. Is we want prosecutions of rich, powerful people who did bad things, because we don't get those. We get it for normal people. We don't get it for rich and powerful people. And but I do agree that people are getting very antsy in general over the past 6 months. There was people freaked out about the tariffs, then they freaked out about the big beautiful bill, then they freaked out about the Iran situation with nuclear weapons, and each time along the way they shouted betrayal and said Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing, and these are his own voters. And then it turned out okay.
Right.
Each situation, every single time.
Right.
And it will probably happen again with this. He has reasons for doing things this way. We don't know what they are.
Right. And when you find out,
people don't like this answer because it's not substantial enough. It doesn't satisfy this craving for some sort of, basically, you call it a sense of justice. It's not really justice. It's basically revenge is what it's like they're craving this because they're emotional, because they're angry at everything that's happened. That's why they're so impatient. That's why they're like, oh, we want this now. But you say, okay, we have to trust Trump that he knows what he's doing.
Well, some people are saying that. Some people don't want to say that because they're angry. And here's the thing.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the answer that doesn't satisfy them.
The Trump playbook is that at some point he comes and he's the white knight and he's going to save everybody. That's what he does. He gets everybody upset, all sides, and then suddenly he comes up with a plan.
Yeah, I know.
That it's like,
I know.
And then if he does that, he's got the midterm election like that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
So,
but Pam Bondi did fumble this for sure. She made mistakes.
Yeah.
One mistake was the stupid binder.
Right.
You remember the binder that went out? The Epstein Files Part 1 binder?
Well, the binders that she came and distributed to all these influencers
come into the White House and they leave holding these binders.
Yeah, that was a stunt.
So
that was a
stupid.
stunt.
It was dumb because it was too obviously a stunt.
Yeah.
And it didn't contain any good information.
No, it didn't.
So it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And those people look very stupid now.
But people should be wary about influencers whose entire persona, whose entire thing is this whole like, we're coming back and we're gonna get you now, and we're gonna those are the ones who have convinced this segment of Donald Trump's voters that revenge is near. Here we go, we're gonna do it. Trump never promised this, so when Trump doesn't deliver on these influencers' promise, people shout betrayal. It's like, well, they shouldn't have been promising you that in the first place.
Right.
The success we're going to have and the wins that are going to be the wins that you're going to reach, that you're going to get along the way, it's going to happen slowly, gradually. It's going to happen cumulatively.
Probably.
There isn't going to be like some sort of Pandora's box opening,
right,
where all your enemies all of a sudden, get hell unleashed on them. That's not how it's going to work.
No, it'll probably work the way all of these things work. There'll be a special counsel. There'll be
maybe, maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe
because
the thing is, I mean, even if you looked at where we are now compared to literally, you could say 6 years ago, even, but I'll say 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you could imagine a president doing all the stuff he's done in the past 6 months, like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It would be impossible. You would say none of that could ever happen.
Right.
None of that could ever happen. That would be like beyond the wildest dreams of the most based right-wing conservative person ever would be what has happened in the past 6 months.
Mm.
And yet they're claiming that Donald Trump isn't doing enough. It's weird.
I know.
And it's emotional. It's emotional.
It's totally emotional
and
on both sides.
It's a reaction, and people don't even realize it. It's a reaction to the stress that we've been put under over the past 5 years. This is what it is. You have a bunch of chronically upset, chronically angry,
and they want
emotional
revenge.
people who have been wronged. True, they've been wronged, but they want revenge because they didn't handle it right.
Right.
They weren't able to forgive, stay sane on the inside, keep their composition, and then seek justice. They let the anger in and they got upset, and now they want revenge. And you can't have two angry sides warring with each other. There's no winner when you have that.
Right.
There's no winner.
Well, what it does is really it puts them both on the same side.
It puts them both on the same side,
yeah,
for sure. On the outside, it looks like two competing factions with different beliefs. But then you look at the outcome. If either wins, and you're like, these both suck. You like these people who are basically like Jews control the world, and we need, Hitler wasn't so bad and all that. It's like, is that person in charge preferable to a communist in charge? Yeah. No, it's like the same thing. They're both totalitarian ideologies, and that's where you end up with when you begin to hate the other side. You begin to hate evil. You become evil yourself.
Correct.
That's what's happening.
You take two angry people and put them in a room. They seem like they're opposing sides, but they're both on the same side if they're angry.
Yeah.
So it's like two witches throwing lightning bolts at each other. The good witch and the bad witch. They're both bad now.
Okay. Okay. I guess we could paint that image if we want. Right. And by the way, I'm not saying that everybody that is unhappy with the Epstein, how the Epstein thing was handled is somehow a Nazi. That's not true. But I am saying that as people begin to get more angry, that ideology picks up steam within society, and that's as a counter to communism, as a counter to socialism, the things we've seen, and it's not preferable. They're both bad.
One thing for sure, more will be revealed. And as a matter of fact, by the time this podcast comes out, who the heck knows what we're going to know?
I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny. I did a TikTok on balding, on hair loss.
Okay.
Tying it to, because I have this whole thing, with physiology meets spirituality.
Alopecia.
And this one guy put people just put nasty comments,
Yep.
And one guy just said, I showed it to you. He said, nice toupee. And I'm like, what? I'm not wearing a toupee. So I went and looked at it, and I looked at the thing at my TikTok.
Yeah.
Why would he say I have a toupee?
Okay.
And I'm looking, and I say, I think maybe my hair was just too neat that day.
I don't know.
I think,
they're just assuming somebody your age can't possibly still have all their hair.
How does he know how old I am? He doesn't know how old I am.
I think he can look at your face and
so
assume you're not like a 40-year-old man.
Oh.
A lot of 40-year-old men don't have hair anymore.
That's true.
I mean, I had friends in college that were balding.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, I want to keep my hair. The thing is that
it's funny. We were just talking about hair on one of the latest podcasts, and then you got that comment, and we were talking about how at your reunion, a lot of people didn't have their hair anymore. And you did, and you're very happy about it.
They had hair. There wasn't anybody. Well, there's a few people totally bald who shave their heads, of course.
Right, but I think it's funny that right after that you get a comment on TikTok accusing you of having a toupee.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
yeah.
But the emotional. There's an emotional connection between losing your hair. You ever hear the expression "grass doesn't grow on a busy street"?
Sure.
And do you know what that refers to? Well, I don't know. I think it refers to a lot of different things.
Yeah, I don't what.
But I refer to people who are lost in their thoughts. If you're lost in if you're unconscious, if you're walking around unconscious, you have a more of a tendency to lose your hair than not.
Okay.
And the reason is that there is an emotional connection because cortisol. Do you know about how cortisol controls your hair?
I don't know the relationship to hair. No.
Well, I don't want to take a deep dive into it. I mean, we don't do deep dives on this podcast, right? We do medium dives.
What? I don't know. Is that a rule of ours?
It's a rule.
You mean sciencey?
Yeah,
we're not experts on that kind of stuff. I get what you're saying.
But what I am an expert on is the spirituality aspect of it.
Okay.
And they meet.
Okay.
Of course. And the thing is with cortisol, when you meditate, for example, right, and you become a little bit more stable emotionally, right, your emotions aren't running wild, and you're not kicking off all that cortisol into your body.
Yeah, which is the stress hormone.
They call it the stress hormone.
Right. So because when you're stressed out,
right,
you have high cortisol levels.
You have high cortisol.
Yep.
So if you want to keep your hair
fight or flight.
Fight or flight meaning the sympathetic nervous system is activated. So if that's activated chronically, which it is when you're emotional, right, when you're upset about things, they call it a sympathetic dominant state.
Oh, okay.
Then your cortisol level goes up chronically.
Yep.
And cortisol actually raises something called DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone.
Okay.
And what that does is when that raises the level, it makes your hair follicles, they say miniaturize. It's not just, you're upset because somebody cut you off or somebody gave you the finger or your boss yelled at you or something like that. That's normal, but then it's supposed to go back down. But if you're constantly in that state, what?
Well, that's not normal because people get upset about that.
Right.
And they get if somebody did that to me,
yeah,
I would want the right amount of response.
Right.
Because it's a confrontation and you need that.
You need it, right.
But people get upset and
they don't let it go.
And they last so long time. And
Correct.
then they stay like this all day.
Correct.
Hey, what's wrong? My boss yelled at me at work today. And
yeah. Well,
that was 2 hours ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why?
Right. So if you're in that constant state all the time, you're increasing those hormones, and that is actually preventing. Because everyone has. I'm not necessarily supposed to be bald, but genetically, I've had my genes tested.
You're predisposed.
I'm predisposed to male pattern baldness. And you will accentuate that if you are constantly emotional because the DHT that increases, it decreases the size or the width. I think it's the width of the follicle. They call it miniaturization.
Okay. So your hair thins.
Your hair thins, and then it starts to fall out.
Right.
So...
Yeah, basically, and that's where the connection between stress and your response to stress and having a healthy spiritual life comes in, because that's how you respond emotionally to things, and those responses manifest physically into these symptoms through the means that you're explaining now, through these chemical changes in your body, like, okay, well, you're stressed out because you're angry all the time. So you have high cortisol. So you have this, what was it called? What's this hair one?
DHT.
DHT is what? That's high too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's high.
Right.
So now your hair thins, so you lose your hair.
Right.
So it's like angry person, not handling stress properly, not healthy emotional relationship to the world equals no hair.
Right. So why are you getting stressed all the time?
Yeah.
Because normally, if you're lost in your thoughts, you become vulnerable to your emotions because you're always lost and you're always thinking about things and you're judging and you're getting upset all the time, and that's when those levels go up. If you're a step back from your thoughts and observing your thoughts, that happens a lot less. See, that's why academics lose their hair.
Do they? What?
Yeah, they do.
You just made that up.
Well,
is it at a higher rate than the average person?
I believe it is. Yeah, people who are lost in your thought. So, but there's an interesting field that I'm looking into. I'm kind of interested in it. I don't know that much about it yet, but there's something called epigenetics.
Sure.
So if you are predisposed towards something, you can actually change that with your environment, meaning how you react within your environment. That's one of the ways you can.
Yeah.
And you can actually turn those genes off or on.
Right.
And that's what epigenetics does. And if you are in a constant state of excitability, you're turning that gene on that might already be in existence. I have that gene.
I wonder, you do have that gene, but like Papa Bernie didn't have hair loss. He had a full head of hair, I think, when he died.
He had...
Which is your father.
My father. Yeah, he had a full head of hair.
He did. He didn't lose his hair.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But he was gray, like, you know, I'm going gray.
So if we didn't have these stupid genealogy reports, you wouldn't know that you're predisposed. You would assume that you're not predisposed to hair loss based on your family history, right?
I know, but he wasn't upset a lot of the time.
And, D, your uncle...
My uncle, yeah, he's got a full set of hair.
My great uncle, he had a full set of hair.
Right, he did.
Right? I mean, and he was old. He had a full set of hair. Full head of hair. Set of hair.
Set of hair.
How many come in his set?
I don't know.
All three of them.
All three hairs. It's not foolproof. It's not an ironclad theory.
It's just, the genealogy actually doesn't match the family history.
Yeah, but I don't know if that gene was activated in him or not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the thing about epigenetics is it sounds cool. It is cool. But does it go as far as actually changing the DNA that you deliver to an offspring? Does it actually change what your offspring?
No, I don't.
Or is it just turning things on or off that you already have?
It's like flipping switches.
Yeah, it doesn't actually affect, you know, what kind of kids you make, right?
No. But it's like the analogy that I saw is like it's like a series of dimmers and switches. So sometimes it's dimmer, sometimes it's off, sometimes it's turned on. So it's like that. My father died with a full head of hair. I think he was pretty much gray, fully gray by that time. Yeah. But there's something else. He also suffered from dementia.
Yes,
he didn't get upset by a lot of things either.
That's arguable.
Not outwardly in anyway. So, but inside, I guess he did. I don't know.
Definitely inside.
Yeah,
he was like an extremely angry person.
I believe he was.
Yeah, you know he was.
Yeah,
well, he was from your childhood.
He was an alcoholic. So.
I know he was. Was he an alcoholic?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was drunk all the time when I was growing up.
Right. I mean, he stopped drinking at some point.
He did. He stopped drinking at some point, yeah.
But
not until he was he probably didn't stop drinking until he was 60, I think.
Wow.
The connection I make is no resentment, low cortisol, low DHT, low hair loss.
Which doesn't guarantee it, by the way.
No, of course not. But I intend to keep my hair as long as I can.
Yeah. Do you know what a red Sprite is?
No.
Okay.
It's not a soda?
It's not a soda. Although it sounds like it could be a soda.
Is it a marine creature?
No, it's not that either. It sounds like it could be one of those sodas they come out with, like those novelty things to sell more of them.
Well, yeah, they try like red,
Red Mountain Dew. They got stuff like that. I don't know.
No, what's a red Sprite?
A red Sprite it's not a soft drink. It's a meteorological event.
Okay.
And an astronaut, Nicole Ayers, she took this photo from the International Space Station.
Okay.
A week or two ago. So check this out.
All right.
Look at that. Can you see that?
I see something red. Yeah, okay. I see that.
So that's Earth, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's a thunderstorm, a lightning storm.
What is that?
And that's a red Sprite coming out of Earth.
Okay, wait a minute.
Into outer space.
What is that big brown turd over there?
Oh, that's just a piece of the International Space Station.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it looked like I thought it was the Doom machine.
Why are you focusing on that?
Because that's the thing that's glaring at me.
No, it's not. Okay, right. Look over here.
Yeah.
So that's a Sprite. That's a red Sprite.
Okay.
And there are things that happen like this with lightning where when it doesn't go down, it goes up. But when it goes up, it doesn't hit anything. So it just like goes into outer space. That makes sense? It's like an electrical discharge into outer space from a thunderstorm.
Right.
So if you're on the other side of it, it looks like this thing with I don't know how well you could see it, but it's got like red tendrils. It's like going into outer space.
That's weird.
So it's really weird.
Yeah.
And so I was really fascinated by that. So they have red Sprites, and the other one are what's the name of it? Blue Jets, which that kind of looked like a blue jet to me too. But here, so here's a video of what they look like on the ground. You can see them here.
You could spend your lifetime pursuing Mother Nature's beauty, and she'd never cease to blow your mind.
Oh my God. Is that weird? So that's what it looks like.
Blue jets.
On the ground. So you got lightning going down, and then occasionally it goes the wrong direction. It just like discharges into outer space.
The red sprites and the blue jets sound like gang wars in New York.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in a musical.
You're thinking of West Side Story.
Well, yeah, those names are, you would never have names like that.
So wait a minute. So what is it? I mean, is it dangerous? Can it, is there anything special about it except it's lightning going up instead of down?
That's it.
All right.
Just makes something really cool.
But it might hit something. It might hit one of our
That's a good question,
orbiting
actually.
space objects. So.
Yeah, because actually when you look at the size of Earth and then the orbit of like the International Space Station,
right,
it's not that far out. Right? I mean, it's pretty close to Earth.
It is, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Everything orbits very, very close.
Yeah.
But
there was a kid that got hit by lightning in Central Park a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Like a 15-year-old kid. Yeah, he went running under a tree.
Did he live?
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, he was last time I heard, yeah.
I saw a story a couple weeks ago. One guy, he waded into like knee-deep water during a lightning storm, and he got hit and he died.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
It was like on somebody's honeymoon or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was something bad. No, you were not supposed to. It's one of those things that you learn as a kid, and you sort of question if it's even that bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, what is it, like a 1 in 1,000? 1 in 1,000 is actually pretty high as far as getting, you don't want to get struck by lightning.
Speaking of honeymoons,
yeah,
today is my anniversary. My Nancy and I are our anniversary.
Yes. Yeah. So happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
And you get to celebrate that with a nice cake.
A nice, yes, and some filet mignon that we're going to make.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
46 years, by the way.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's crazy because I remember when it was 30, and that 30 was a big deal.
Yeah.
And that feels like only a couple of years ago.
Well,
so I don't know how it's like 16 years ago. That's nuts.
Crazy.
So staying with space.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. If something hit, I don't know if it can go high enough to hit
the space station. I mean,
yeah, that would be crazy.
It could hit a Tesla flying by.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Have you heard of Asteroid 16 Psyche?
No, where are you getting these things?
I just happened to see this. Okay, Asteroid 16 Psyche is an asteroid. I think it's in our solar system, or at least close by. That's filled with metal.
Okay,
it's like a big hunk of metal flying by, and NASA has sent up a probe or a space shuttle or something. Obviously, not with people, to go learn more about it. So what we know right now, I guess, from observing it on the ground is
unmanned, obviously.
I just said without people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What we know right now is that it's filled with metal, like gold, things like that.
Wow. Can we mine it?
That's the thing, is that apparently there's so much money in that asteroid.
Right.
The value is so high that it would just wipe out our entire
economic system, or
it would just be gone.
The gold standard would be
right. Well, no, I mean, we're not on a gold standard, no.
I know, but the value of gold would just tank.
Yeah. So this is it here. Asteroid worth 10, I think that's quintillion. 10 quintillion, or is it quadrillion? No, it's quintillion. That NASA, so asteroid worth $10 quintillion that NASA is capturing could have a devastating impact. So the idea is it would make everybody billionaires.
That's crazy.
But if everybody's a billionaire, nobody's a billionaire.
Nobody's a billionaire, right?
I don't even know how you count that many zeros.
Are you sure it's quintillion? It doesn't matter. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not. It's enough to ruin everything, basically.
So what are they going to do? They're not going to. I mean, if this were Star Wars or Star Trek, we could just put a tractor beam on it and pull it in.
Yeah, right.
Where is it? It's not in orbit around here.
I'm trying to figure out what's in
it.
Okay, they think it contains gold, iron, nickel.
It's in our solar system.
You know what? Is it, or is it just nearby? It's probably in our solar system, yeah. So NASA joined with Elon and sent a SpaceX rocket up to it.
Okay.
Which left last year. So here's the takeoff from that.
8, 7, 6.
So obviously
5,
a SpaceX rocket.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of Falcon Heavy.
Wow, that's a good shot.
Isn't that crazy?
To a metal asteroid in deep space to study the building blocks of our planet's inner space.
Right. So because it's made of metal,
Yeah.
that reminds us of our core, a planetary core.
Right.
And we don't get to see our core ever.
Right.
We just get to kind of guess what's down there because of,
Is it
we
molten?
measure shock waves and stuff like that. Yeah, we don't actually know what the core of our planet is,
Right.
but it's assumed to be metal. We're pretty sure it's metal
Right.
based on, I guess, readings we get. So they're going to send a probe up there to study this asteroid because they think this asteroid is essentially a planet gone wrong or the start of a planet. It's basically what the core of a planet would be, if that makes sense. But it turned out to be it turned into an asteroid instead of a planet.
Like a planetary fetus.
I guess I think it's more of a reject than anything because I don't think it would ever turn into
Planetary abortion.
Yeah, great. Thank you for making this so light and fun. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to send up this probe
Right.
and examine this asteroid as if it's the core of a planet, thinking, okay, this is what a core of a planet might look like.
And we can learn how a planet is formed. What
But yeah, you can mine. The richest man in the world is sending up something to an asteroid worth way more than he is. So,
wow. That would be crazy because if Elon Musk were to bring back a whole bunch of gold like that to Earth,
yeah.
his net worth would just be worthless.
Yeah.
Right?
Not if he keeps it all for himself, I guess.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah, who owns it?
Isn't that that would be like that's like a James Bond supervillain plot.
Yeah, right.
Like
yeah,
I'm bringing
right.
back this asteroid and all this gold, and I
Gold.
will become.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
Goldfinger thing.
That's Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Well, in Goldfinger, he blows up. He's trying to blow up the U.S.'s gold reserve,
Right. So
which would
he-
make him
he has a
the
monopoly
richest
on it.
person
Right.
ever.
Right.
So he owns all the gold in the world.
Was he going
right?
to steal it or blow it up? I forgot.
You know what? No, he wasn't going to steal it. He wasn't going to blow it up. He was going to detonate a nuclear bomb
that's right.
on top of it,
Making
it worthless
Right,
because of the
Be all
radiation.
contaminated.
Yeah. Which is pretty. I mean, it's a cool plot. It's a cool idea.
Hey, I wanted to mention this to you. You've seen this medication that I'm taking. I want to pronounce it correctly. You've seen this? You've seen me use? Have you seen me use this?
Is that a nose spray of some
Yeah,
kind?
it's a nose spray. It's
No.
it's called ipratropium bromide,
Okay.
and it was given to me by the doctor, and I started to use it, and then I stopped. I'm not using it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to dry out my sinuses.
Mm.
Okay, but the problem with it is it minimizes the production of choline, and you need acetylcholine in your brain. So they've done studies which they show that these very drugs, there's a whole bunch of them. They get them. It's in Benadryl and a lot of antihistamine medications. Okay, and what it does is it basically causes dementia.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I get a dry nose,
Which you want.
but I don't know it. I guess.
You want a dry nose, right?
Yeah, I did. It
I
hasn't
thought
really.
you didn't want to dry, but it's supposed
Sinus.
to dry out your
It's
sinuses,
supposed to dry it out. Yeah,
right? But it makes you demented.
it makes you demented. Yeah,
Okay.
it brings on Alzheimer's and as well as dementia, supposedly. But here's the thing: I wanted to ask you, and I'm not using it anymore, and I didn't find that it helped that much.
Well, I'm
anyway.
so glad your future handler won't have to wipe your runny nose because you took so much of this
Right.
anticholinergic.
Right. Well, I have a lot of choline in my diet anyway. Eggs. I make sure I eat eggs and
Okay.
beef liver. I take desiccated beef liver because I'm not going to eat regular beef liver. And that.
Hold on.
What?
You eat desiccated beef liver? No.
Yeah.
You take it as a pill.
As a pill. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Capsule.
You made it sound like you eat desiccated beef liver because you would never touch the fresh stuff after all. So I just eat it after it's all dried out and rotting.
Well,
So
I remember, back in the 60s and the 70s when people used to talk about taking drugs, like, they would say, I ate some LSD.
well, there's the Liver King.
Who's the liver? Oh, I've heard of that.
You've heard of Liver King, right?
Yeah, I have. Who is that?
He was this guy who his entire thing was he eats raw meat, and he's he's this really buff guy with a big beard, and he's
Right.
always shirtless on Instagram and
Right.
YouTube or whatever. And it's showing him eating raw meat. It's like he eats liver.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
his thing. So he's the Liver King.
Right. Something happened with him, though.
Yeah,
right?
he had a total fall off because he got canceled because he's a big fat liar,
Oh.
and he takes steroids.
Oh.
A lot of them. Like his
Oh, so he's a big buff guy, and he says it's from eating liver.
he says it's from his diet and workout because he's this natural guy, and this is what you can look like naturally.
Right.
No, he takes drugs. He takes steroids.
That's crazy.
So he's on roids, and he's pretending he's not. He's saying he's not.
Yeah.
And it was something crazy, like his, I don't know if it was a physician or whoever was administering these, leaked it or something like that. Somehow it got leaked that his monthly regimen was like $10,000. He was taking like $10,000 of drugs a month to keep that physique up. While saying it's all natural and he's selling supplements, he's selling things.
Oh, I see.
And it's false advertising. It's basically saying you can look like me if you buy my supplements.
Yeah.
But it's not true.
Yeah.
He's not true. He's spending $10,000 on drugs.
He's not real. His muscles aren't real.
Yeah. So he had a total fall off from that and everybody hated him. And lately he's gone insane. Like actually insane.
Maybe I shouldn't take beef liver.
Maybe beef liver maybe made him go crazy. But he's actually gone insane. He's posting crazy videos. He looks like a crazy homeless person now. He's basically vaguely threatening Joe Rogan. He's posting videos like, I'm in Austin. I'm looking for you, Joe. I'm looking for you. Like things like that. And then he's like, I'm just kidding or something. Very creepy, very strange stuff.
Yeah.
I think he might have a restraining order now. I don't know. But yeah, he's gone crazy.
That's nuts.
He's gone crazy.
So, but I wanted to bring up this.
It just goes to show you, by the way, and I've thought about this. It would be so easy. You could go viral. You could make lots of money if you just lie. You just lie about things.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
You just lie.
A lot of people do.
Because it's like, I don't have anything interesting to say. I don't have an interesting life. I'm not particularly impressive. But if I do this, this, and this and lie about it, get all this attention.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Reddit posts are lies. People telling their stories, their personal stories, amazing things that happen to them, crazy, sad things that happen to them. They just make it up. A lot of TikToks are lies. People saying what happened to them. Oh my God, you won't believe what just happened. Just made up.
Yeah, they're just looking for views or whatever it is, like likes. Yeah. What I wanted to ask you, though, is that the studies say that it increases dementia by 50 to 60%. Okay, that's not how they word it, though. It's 50 to 60% increased risk of dementia.
Okay.
So that's different than saying, because on the surface, it sounds like you're saying, well, 50 to 60% of the people that take this get dementia.
No.
But that's not what, I know, but that's how it's like interpreted, like if you just read the headline or something.
Yeah, in layman's terms, you might think, oh my God.
But the way I look at it, and you can correct me because you're the statistics guy, if you take... The way I look at it, if it's, let's say it's 50%. Okay. So that means that the risk of dementia is increased by 50%. So that would be, I'm going to give you an example. So let's say out of 1,000 people, 10 out of 1,000 people get dementia.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the risk is increased by 50%.
Yeah.
That means that it turns into 15 out of 1,000.
That's all.
Oh, that's all it means,
That's
right?
exactly right.
Yeah. So
they probably had two groups, one control without this spray,
right,
and one with the spray, one using the spray.
Right.
This would be my guess. I don't know how they did such a long-term study. It's almost impossible to do these types of studies because you need two identical groups,
right,
and you want to measure what happens to the group that does nothing and then the group that has the special conditions. In this case, it's going to be the spray.
Right.
And those groups have to be identical. And they have to be doing the same stuff outside of the one variable that you're testing. So that's difficult because if you have a decades-long study, which I would assume this would have to be because...
It was the numbers were huge.
Right. You would have to have a huge population of people to do this on, which might mean it's an observational study. You're actually just looking at what happened over time, not actually measuring specific people. Because it's like, okay, well, how do we know one group isn't going to start doing, it's like this guy, I don't know, he started eating differently. It's like, I didn't get to control his diet over 20 years.
Right.
Stuff like that.
But the larger the group, the least chance of that being... I guess
if you had a large enough group, you could do it.
Yeah, there were thousands.
That's what you could do. But you couldn't do just like with something long term like that, you couldn't do like a group of 10 or a group of 20.
No.
Which a lot of these studies are a group that small because it's a short term study.
Right.
But anyway, So what you would do is you would take one group, you'd administer the spray or have them do the spray over years.
Right.
And then the other group doesn't do the spray. And then you look at the rate of dementia in one group versus the other, and you find what is the rate of dementia? What is it?
Yeah.
Like, what's the actual? No, I'm asking you, what's the actual number?
I don't know.
Okay, let's get it. Risk of dementia. The risk is going to be the same as the overall rate. Wow. Overall lifetime risk for middle-aged Americans is 42%. That's crazy. I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah.
42%?
No, that doesn't sound right.
That's right. 42 out of
The
100
risk.
people who reach their mid-50s are expected to eventually develop dementia. That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's a lot.
That's insane.
Is that right?
I bet it's right.
Well,
That's Google's AI.
well, this stuff
Telling me
increases
that,
it by 50%.
So if so,
Amongst the
50%,
users.
right? So let me continue.
Yeah.
A 50% increase in 42%
Yeah.
would be 21%. 21 is 50% of 42, right?
Okay.
So now we're looking at what's 42 plus 21, 63%. So for users of this, 63% of those users get dementia. So if you start using this, you have a 63% risk of getting dementia.
Right.
Because we know 63% overall get it.
Yeah.
So without that, I guess it's 42.
pretty-
It's going to be something like that. I don't know what numbers they came up with.
Now
with
it's
the
only
study, but-
long-term use. So
Yeah, right.
I didn't experience any cognitive decline from taking it for a few weeks.
Well, you don't know because they didn't measure short-term use.
Right.
Short-term use.
And one of the
So
things
you don't actually know.
and one of the side effects, of the like Benadryl and these antihistamines
Yeah.
is drowsiness and loss of
Oh,
cognition. You're not able to concentrate and things
Right.
like that. This stuff is bad. I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I took that medication. It was like a Benadryl when I was having allergic reaction
Right.
down in D.C. I was
Right.
I was given prescribed something.
I remember
basically.
that.
And I just felt totally whacked out. It was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
I hated it.
bad
It
stuff.
messed with, but it didn't just mess with like my cognition. I felt emotionally unstable
Right.
on it. I was like having little outbursts of anger.
Right.
And then I like bad, like I was feeling like I was actually getting some sort of rage that would come and then go. And I was like, I didn't even notice that happening. How is that even happening? And then I stopped taking it. It totally went away. It was totally messed with
So the point is
my
when
brain,
when you have
messed with my psyche.
when you have statistics like this, it's working off of a baseline of what they know, and then they increase the risk by the 50% or the 60% is increased off of a baseline
Yeah.
of already established dementia
Right.
sufferers.
Well, no, they probably had a control group and they measured that. They didn't.
Yeah.
They probably didn't rely on. Maybe they did rely. I was going to rely on. I was going to say rely on rates already established. They probably measured their own control group, but maybe they didn't. Yeah. Maybe.
Right.
Yep.
So you don't suddenly become doomed, but your odds increase.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's already 42%, it's already like half chance.
It's
you're
already
gonna get
a lot,
it. That's
yeah.
insane.
That is
That's
crazy.
insane. I thought it'd be like 10 or 20 or something
Yeah,
like that.
no.
If
it's
you
a
told
lot.
me it was 20, it'd be like, oh yeah, something's wrong. Something's going wrong.
Yeah.
42%.
Maybe we better double check that. That sounds like it sounds really high.
All right. I mean, I'll double check it right now. Yeah, here's a study. February. I'm looking at a search result here.
Right.
February 18th, 2025. Researchers estimate a lifetime risk of dementia of 42% after age 55.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is a
That's
lot.
insane.
All right. Well, I want to keep my brain. I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting old, people get really nasty. Remember, there was, sometimes. Look, I don't read all of the replies on TikTok,
Yeah.
but I had one guy. I showed you. I forget the exact wording, but he said you and I were talking on a TikTok, I think, and he said it was. I don't remember these. It was
Okay.
it was one that went out.
Yeah.
From our podcast. I think it was from our podcast.
Okay.
And he said you've referred to me as a boomer.
Yeah.
And he's
I know that.
and
one.
he's speaking to you, saying, "Take me to an old age home." Or how did it go? I forgot what. It was.
Okay. It was when we were talking about DMT and acid and tripping and using
yeah.
psychedelics.
Right.
And he must be a big psychedelics fan.
Sounds like it.
Because he was offended by.
He must be.
He was offended by us implying that they basically are bad for you and cause you to, or cause society, when a society adopts them as part of their as a ritual, as part of their culture, the society crumbles. The society does not do well. He did not like that at all.
Right.
And he said everything you were saying was wrong. He said, take this boomer to a retirement home.
Retirement home. That's what he said.
He's done.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
There was another guy that put,
which was funny because he was typing like a boomer. Like his entire the entire thing he wrote didn't read like somebody who's adroit at using a smartphone.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
But I'm not technically a boomer, am I?
Yes, you are.
I thought I was Generation Jones.
There is no Generation Jones. That I don't know who made that up. Well, I do know. I think the guy's name was Jones, right?
It's on Wikipedia. It must be true.
Listen, it's a subcategory. It's a sub-generation of boomer.
When I grew up,
You are part of baby boomer.
I hung out. I think so, but I hung out with a lot of people who were real baby boomers. Okay,
Yeah.
They tended to be older than I was, because I was in a work environment doing business, and people were like 10 and 20 years older than me, and they were like, "We're boomers," but they were like saying it proudly, like, we experienced the Vietnam War and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and like we're boomers. And I'm saying, well, I want to be a boomer. I want to be one of those.
Nobody's
guys.
ever said that before.
Yes. Back
I
then,
want to be a boomer.
Back then,
Yeah.
yeah, because I didn't have a category, and at that
You
time,
don't call them boomers. You call them baby boomers.
baby
right?
boomers. Yeah,
I don't think that was even a phrase yet. Boomer, right?
no, just baby boomers.
Yeah.
And because I was born in '57,
Yep.
right? So now at that time, that was like the end of it. And it was going to something else, which we didn't have a name for. We didn't have names for all these generations.
Yeah, I know.
We just had baby boomers, And
Everything's been so studied. Everything is studied and categorized to death now. It's like sociology.
So who came up with Generation Jones? It's supposed to be this transitional generation where they don't know where they belong. They were too young. Like Woodstock, for example, right? I missed Woodstock because I was too young to go. So I had to wait for the record to come out. Right. But I had friends who went, whose brothers who were a little bit older, and they took them up there. I guess I was in my early teens.
It seems to me, here's the thing, is that so much changed every single decade, starting at like the 50s through the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, the music, the food, the technology,
everything.
Nothing is the same.
Nothing
is the same. What's weird is something happened in the 90s where everything like seems to have flatlined. Technology, I mean, we have other than the internet and smartphones, I don't know what's changed much from the 90s. That's why when you watch a show from like 2010, you really don't even notice that it's old.
Yeah.
But if you were to watch a show, if it were 1980 and you watched a show from 1965,
yeah, right,
it would be dated.
Yeah, terribly dated.
Yeah, I mean the accent, jokes,
sure.
everything about it would be the clothing, of course. It'd be like, what is this? What decade are we in now?
Yeah, right.
But you don't even, like Breaking Bad, you wouldn't even know that it's
no, not really
15 years
not
old
really.
or something.
Whoops, sorry about that.
It's not good.
Huntington Park, California. I don't know what they want. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of, definitely, like, it's hard to explain. I think I've explained it to you. It's like my first color television was when I got married.
Yeah.
I didn't have color. I didn't grow up with color TV.
Well, that sounds like a boomer. Now you sound like a boomer.
But I know, but it was around, and all my friends had it. I would go to their house. We didn't have a lot of money.
And now you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok is definitely spyware.
There was
this one.
It is. I've got a whole series of TikTok things.
It's important when you're in business, though. I mean, that's where the attention is. That's where the eyeballs are.
Okay.
Is that it for today?
I think probably yes.
I think we're done.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye.